we're going to take a look at supplementary, complementary, and vertical angles again, but this time we'll have some algebra in there, meaning that we're going to be solving for some variables. All right, that's what we're going to be looking at. Fix the screen. It's a little messy. There we go. That's better. So right away, it might be helpful to kind of draw an arc mark so we can see what kind of angle this is. What kind of angles are those?
Let's do the new
Vertical. Vertical. We know that because of our vertical angles dance, right? We're here, and they're like this, they're crossing, and then it's this. It's those, right? It's these ones. Actually, it's these ones, aren't they? Yes. Is it this? Yeah, that way. Those. Vertical angles dance. Another way you can do it is you can be like, right? Maybe it's like this. I don't know. But the reality is, they're vertical angles because they're not adjacent, they're opposite, and they're formed by two lines crossing. And we know that vertical angles, right, these are vertical angles. And how is that going to help us? Vertical angles are what? They have the same measure, so we say are equal in measure. So if they're equal in measure, that means I can set up an equation, exactly. 2x equals 43. Because they're equal in measure, that means that one side is equal to the other. Sometimes with vertical angles, I like to think about it like this. I like to think about it like that. With vertical angles, the opposite sides are equal. Which means now what do I need to do? I need to isolate my variable and solve for x. So, divide both sides by 2, and we get that x equals what? What was it? 21.5. Boom. And we actually don't need the degrees symbol because is x talking about degrees? No. X isn't a degree measurement. What's the degree measurement of this angle? Vertical angles are equal in measure. What's the degree measurement of this angle? 43. So what we're really saying is this is 43. This is 43, right? Is 43. So that's why we don't need the degree measurement, because this angle is not 21.5 degrees. It's 43 degrees. Yes?
Instead of setting the equation, can you just divide 43 by 2 if you see it?
In a problem this easy, yes. Can I give you some advice? What if this was 2x plus 44, or 2x plus 20 equals 43 minus x? Right, we wouldn't be able to do it very easily in our head. So, if you can do it in your head, that's fine. But I'm giving you a strategy that will work for every problem no matter what. So if you are able to see this and do it in your head, I'm cool with that. But on your notes, I want to make sure you have that strategy written down that will work for every problem. Cool? So, my answer is yes, if you can. Make sense?
Yep.
Cool. All right, let's do letter B. First off, we need to decide what to do with these. We need to classify the pair of angles. What kind of angles are these? These are supplementary angles. Supplementary. And what can we say about them? Supplementary angles, they do not equal 180 degrees. They don't equal 90.
straight line.
They do not equal 180. Supplementary angles, I heard somebody say it, they add up to 180. And I know that I'm being kind of a jerk when I say that. I get it. But I want you to be aware, supplementary angles are not 180. They have to add up to 180. Why do I think it's important that we say add up to 180?
Because you're adding to instead to get your supplement.
To get 180. A lot of times, and I know this seems silly, a lot of times would be like, they just say, oh, this is 180. Because supplementary angles are 180, right? No, they add up to 180. Supplementary angles add up to 180 degrees. So what can I do? In fact, actually, let's say add up to equal. Let's put that word in there. To equal. That will be a reminder to us that we can write write an Equation, which is what we're going to need to do for this particular problem. So what's my first angle?
34 degrees.
No. What's my first angle? What does that angle measure?
180 degrees.
Nope.
X plus
That angle measures x plus 34 degrees. So the first angle measures x plus 34 degrees. If you want to include the parentheses in there, you can. You do not have to, but you can. What does the second angle measure? Plus x. Why am I adding those two together? Because the two angles will add up to equal. So this angle plus this angle will add up to equal 180 degrees. That is my equation. Okay? Now I just need to combine my like terms, isolate the variable, etc. So the parentheses, this is why I said you don't necessarily need the parentheses, because with addition, the parentheses don't really matter, because I can't combine these like terms. So you can include the parentheses if it helps you visualize the structure, but otherwise you don't necessarily need them. So what's my next step? I've got two x's, and then a 34, and that equals 180 degrees. Hey-o. What's this? What is this? Yeah, this is a two-step equation. Circle the variable and its coefficient, right? Do you guys remember these steps?
Yep.
Cool. And then we subtract 34 from both sides. How did I get 2x? X plus 34 plus x. How many x's did I say? 2, right? Okay, and so I'm left with 2x. Somebody with a calculator, let me know what 180 minus 34 is.
146. Wait, what?
136 or 146?
146.
Okay, and then I need to divide both sides by 2. So x equals 73 degrees. And is x a degree measurement? Nope, x is a variable. So could you figure out what both these angles measure? Let's do that real fast. Let's figure out what they measure. What's the angle on the right measure? That one's pretty easy, right? So this is 73 degrees. What's the angle on the left measure? Tell your neighbor what they measure and how you got it. Go and tell them. All right, KJ, what's the angle on the left measured? Nope, the angle on the right measures 73. If this angle over here measured 73, which, and I say clearly, it clearly doesn't. Why do I say it clearly doesn't measure 73 degrees? Why does it clearly not equal it? It's an obtuse angle, which means it can't be less than 90. So it can't be 73. What is it? 107. How did you get that?
You add 73 plus 46 and 34.
Yeah, you just 73 plus 34. So if you had to figure out the angle measurements, you could. And we should know that 107 plus 73
equals 140.
equals 180.
Yep.
Why would those two equal 180? Because these are supplementary angles. Classify the pair of angles. These angles are called what? Everybody said together? Okay, awesome. Complementary angles. Complementary angles. What do we know about complementary angles? Remember, complementary corner. What do we know about these? Yep.
The angles add up to equal 90 degrees.
Say it one more time, a little louder.
The angles add up to equal 90 degrees.
Nice, add up to equal. Really, I just wanted you to say it with confidence. I love it. Awesome. They add up to equal 90 degrees. So if I draw my arc marks, it helps me visualize which angle is which. So someone tell me, what's the degree measurement of the left angle? Or I guess you could call it the top angle, however you want to do it. Haley?
X plus 7.
X plus 7. And if you want to put the parentheses, you can. Otherwise, that's up to you. And the degree measurement of the other angle, Kaylee? Say a little louder, I couldn't hear you. 22 degrees. And what do we know about those two angles? X plus 7 and 22. Marlon, what do we got? What can we do with those? We wrote it down.
Oh, do 7x plus 22.
Not yet, we're not quite there yet. We don't have our equation written. Can you finish writing our equation for us? Did you write down the green writing that I wrote down?
Yeah.
Read it out loud.
Complementary angles add up to equal 90 degrees.
Good, so what have we done so far?
So far we've got, we combined x plus 7.
Yep, and
Added it to 22.
yes, but what have we not done yet?
Equal to 90 degrees.
So what do we need to finish?
We need to finish it to 90 degrees.
Exactly, equal to 90 degrees. Good, way to work through that. Do you want to get us our next step?
And then add 22. Oh yeah, 7x plus 22.
There's no 7x in this problem. You see a 7 right next to an x?
Yes, but it doesn't.
That says x plus 7. That's different than 7x. Remember, x plus 7 lies. X plus 7 is very different than 7x. We need to get away from that. Okay, x plus 7 is an addition problem. 7x is a multiplication problem. So we need to combine our like terms, right, Marlon? What like terms are we combining?
22.
Terms with the s is plural, so we need to combine two things.
7.
I've given you a really big hint by drawing arrows to them.
Yeah, 7 and 22.
Thank you. Why can we combine those two? Because they're both numbers, they're variables. So fine. All right, let's finish this problem up so we have a little bit more time here. X plus 22 plus 7 is? And we get it equal to 90. This ends up being only a one-step problem, which is kind of nice. The last one was a 2, this is a 1. Isolate that variable, subtract 29 from both sides. Someone help me out, tell me what 90 minus 29 is?
61.
Good, 61. Now, before we break, is 61 a degree measurement? Should we put a unit of degrees there? No, we shouldn't put a unit of degrees because 61 is what x is. But if we wanted to use that to help us solve for a missing value, we already know what the bottom angle is. What would the top angle measure? Now that we know what x is, what would that top angle measure? Haley? 68. How did you get 68? Yeah, 61 plus 7. We know what x is, so 61 plus 7. All right, questions on complementary angles. Questions on this setup.